Hey everybody, I'm Katrina,
And I'm Sammy.
and we're here to discuss the new season, season 19 of Dancing with the Stars.
Yay! It's been a really interesting cast. You want to start off?
Yeah, let's just get right into it because it is a very interesting cast. So first up we have Randy Couture, I think is how you pronounce his last name. He
Victoria.
is a, he is a UFC heavyweight fighting challenge. I'm not quite sure what that means because I don't watch that sport. But he is paired with Karina, so I don't know who he is. So that's my first I don't know how
I
he's
am
gonna do.
obsessed with mixed martial arts, ultimate fighting, all that. I'm soon to be a kickboxing instructor, so all this makes me so excited. So I'm curious to see because we've never had anyone like this on the show before. And he's cute, so way to go, Karina.
Wait, no, didn't we have I can see his face. What is his name? I want to say it's Chuck, but
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I know the one you're talking about. Yeah, that's right. Was he a wrestler or was he mixed martial arts? I don't remember now.
I don't remember. All I remember, I can see his face, but I can't remember anything about him.
Yeah, we might have had one, but we haven't. If he was, and we haven't had one in a long time, so I'm excited to have one again and see how he does.
Yeah, and he's an athlete, so I'm hoping that will help him.
Definitely, and he does have the discipline for that kind of thing. So if he's in martial arts, you're really trained in discipline. So you have the discipline for the practice and learning the dances. So we'll see how that translates into the dance floor.
Yeah. Next we have Michael Waltrip, who is a Dayton 500 winner, which is NASCAR. If you don't know what that is, again, I have no idea who he is. He's paired with Emma Slater, so I'm a little. I kind of feel bad for Emma because it's like, I wish she would get somebody that I don't know. He could do well. I'm hoping that he does well for Emma, and because I think Emma is really talented, and I really like the way she teaches. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's really hard to know without knowing these people how they'll do.
That's right. I haven't really followed NASCAR or anything. I just know the big obvious names like Dale Earnhardt Jr., Elio Castroneves, who was on the show in one season 5. But other than that, I'm at a complete loss. So, but Emma's a good teacher, so I'm going to put my faith into that they'll at least last a couple of weeks.
Yeah. Next we have Janelle Parrish, who is paired with Val. She's from Pretty Little Liars. She plays Mona. I think I was just watching the Dancing with the Stars gossip Twitter, and that they were kind of promoting that she might be a romance with Val because she's kind of his age. I hope not. Yeah, exactly. That's my thought. I hope not because she also has a serious boyfriend. Apparently, I don't really know. I don't watch the show, or I don't like follow her. And somebody who was talking with that Twitter account was saying that she'll do well because the Pretty Little Liars fans are really dedicated, which they are to that show. But then we saw with Brant that maybe they weren't as dedicated. I don't know. Maybe they're more um, connected to the girls than they are to the kind of the secondhand cast
Right.
that Brant was. But I don't know.
The thing is, she has a much bigger role than Brant had on the show, so I think that's really going to get the fans voting, because Mona was a huge, huge character. I don't want to ruin it for anyone that watches that hasn't yet seen the finale, but it was intense. She's been absolutely front and center throughout the show for the past couple of seasons, so, and she's well loved by her fans, so I think she's going to do really well.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't.
Plus, she
I
has
know
a younger fan base, so.
what the show is, but I don't watch it, and it's not my thing. And I know it's
My
based off.
little sister watches, so.
Okay. Next, we have Sadie Robertson, who is paired with Mark. She is part of the family that is on Duck Dynasty. She's also 17, I believe. So they
17, yes.
apparently get judges okay for her to be on the show, which I find interesting. Um, I don't know. I don't know who, like, I don't watch the show, and I don't know her personality, but I think Mark does really well with younger like people near in his peer group, so to speak. So I think he'll be okay. Like, she'll be okay with him.
Oh yeah, definitely. And they do Duck Dynasty is huge. Even before the show, they are $1 million millionaire dynasty with the whole duck call thing. My brother-in-law is obsessed with them and got me into the show, so now I'm obsessed. So, and watching them, they are a good fan base. They do have 1 million members in their family, so it's going to be a combination with the controversy of the Palins and the fan base of the Osmonds. So I see her going straight to the semifinals just based on that alone. And she's young and she's cute, so I think she's going to do really well.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that if the people that watch Duck Dynasty are also the same demographics that watch Dance with the Stars. So it'll be interesting to see.
Sure, plus you'd have Uncle Si in the audience, so they should have just gotten him because he's hysterical. I just wanted to see him go at him and Bruno spar at it.
Oh.
You don't know how to score. That's a fact, Jack.
Oh.
You know, he's probably going to go after their baby Smithers' little granddaughter.
I was so worried that when I saw her name on the rumored list that they were going to pair her with one of the new pros just because to create controversy.
Oh, yeah. I'm glad they didn't go that route, even though I think that would have been a fabulous partnership, but I'm glad that they didn't push any controversy.
Yeah. So next we have Antonio Sabata Jr., who, if you don't know who he is, he's a former model, did some acting, is also a reality star, has been on several reality shows. He's paired with Cheryl. I think this is a really good partnership, and they might be the dark horses of this season.
Absolutely, absolutely. First of all, he has a Calvin Klein fan base. All those women watching it saw him in his underwear. He has the general... He looks hot! What? Come on. Then we have the General Hospital fan base, because he's on General Hospital for a very long time. And then the reality fan base. So I think he has it made. He's going to go probably to the final. He's my pick for one of the top 3 on that alone.
Yeah. I just think because he's in shape, so I think that will happen as well. Next we have Alfonso Ribeiro. Is that how you pronounce his last name?
Yep. Yes.
He is the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, which I know the show, but I have no idea who he is.
Cousin Carlton, the Carlton dance. And you know that Whitney's going to do that to It's So Unusual. It's not unusual, I'm sorry, by Tom Jones, because you can't have him on the show and not do that.
Yeah. So as Sammy said, he's paired with Whitney, who, this is her second season as a pro?
Yes, yes.
I think he'll definitely have a fan base, at least from the people who grew up watching the show. So, who knows with him?
And I think, don't quote me on this, I'm almost positive he has a tap dancing background or some kind of dance background. I remember hearing, so he's definitely good. He's my second pick for the top 3, so I think he's really going to do well.
Yeah, at least he'll have that understanding of rhythm and whatnot.
Exactly.
Next we have Tommy Chung, who, for you young folks, is from Cheech and Chong. If you don't know what that is, go ask your parents.
Google.
He's paired with PETA, and
she's not happy with this partnership at all. Did you see the look on her face when they did the cast announcement?
I wasn't awake. What happened?
She looked like she had I don't want to be mean, but she looked like she was trying to be happy about it, but she looked like she was annoyed at the same time. So I hope she wasn't. She could have just been really tired from that long flight, but still, we got the old man this season.
Yeah, he is 76, and my dad and I were having this discussion last night, and I was saying, well, he might have tons of old followers, and my dad was like, well, they may not remember him either because of his whole comedy shtick. I was just like, oh, that's right. So
yeah, they're stoned most of the time.
Yeah. Next we have, and I'm freaking out about this because this is a huge thing for me, Jonathan Bennett, who is played Now I'm gonna forget his name on the show. He was on Mean
Aaron
Girls.
Samuel.
He was, yeah, he was on Mean Girls. I'm so excited for him. He is the hunk, alert for this season. I'm so excited for him. He is paired with Allison, the one of the new pros, Allison Poker.
Yes.
Thank you. And which I don't want to be mean, but I'm not happy about because she has no competitive ballroom experience outside of So You Think You Can Dance. I'm a little
Right.
frustrated with that, just because of I'm like then it makes no sense to me.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, but I'm curious to see what she does bring, because if they do contemporary, she's a phenomenal contemporary dancer, so there's that, so.
Yeah, I mean, and she's an amazing dancer. I'm not putting anything like that, but it's just I'm worried how she's going to handle the steps and stuff.
That's true.
Because So You Think You Can Dance, ballroom stuff is completely. It's more. I don't know how to even explain it. Like it's not.
You learn so quickly.
Yeah, I mean, you learn quickly in Dancing with the Stars after the first dance, but you need to kind of know the steps, like basics and stuff like that. And since she's not coming from that world, I don't know. I'm worried.
Yeah, I'm worried about that, too. But I do have one question. Do you think we get to learn if Jonathan looks sexy with his hair pushed back?
I don't know. He has really short hair right now, so I don't know.
I just wonder how many Mean Girls references they're gonna make.
Oh, they're gonna make. Well, yeah, she's gonna make them.
Of course, of course. And I met him, and I think he's a sweetheart, so he's gonna definitely do well and win over the ladies.
Mm-hmm. Next, and this one was a surprise for me just because of the name, and we were having a discussion about who the big Hollywood star is.
Mm-hmm.
Next is Leah Thompson, and I think that's who they were talking about.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even think about her.
And she does have, quite an extensive acting career. If you don't know who she is, she's on Switched at Birth. She plays one of the moms. She's done a couple other shows and several movies. And so she is paired with Artem, who, if you didn't know, is Carrie Ann Inaba ex.
Oh, that's awkward.
Awkward! Yeah. Yeah. And speaking of that, did you see the comment Karina made about Julianne being a judge?
Yeah, she said it was unethical because she is related to Derek, and she does have a really intense past with Mark. So, yeah, I'm not sure what I think about that. I think she was a great judge when she was on, but I can see what people would think was conflict of interest.
Yeah, but then she should have realized that having Artem on there is a conflict of interest.
Exactly. You can't have one without the other. Although, if you think about it, they're all connected in some way, so no matter what, it's going to be a conflict of interest, so.
Yeah, it is.
Julianne's going to be fine on the show.
Yeah. Anyway, so Leah Thompson, I don't know, she may be a dark horse.
Doesn't she have a ballet background?
I think so. For some reason, there's a scene in my mind that she did, like, this dance scene in one of the movies she was in. I could be wrong about that, but I think so. So that would be really nice, because I like my pointed toes and lines.
Exactly. Yeah, I thought of you when I heard her ballet background. I'm like, Katrina's gonna love this because she finally has her toes pointed correctly.
Yes. Ugh. Anyway.
And she has a Back to the Future fan base. Don't forget that. I mean, everyone's culty obsessed with Back to the Future.
I totally forgot that she was in there.
She played the mom. She played Michael J. Fox's mom.
Yeah, and then
I'm so excited.
So then we have Tavis Smiley, who I know who he is, but I've never listened to him. He is a commentator, like political commentator.
Right.
For
I know
I
he's
want
on
to
Blog
see
Talk
MSN.
Radio.
Maybe.
Something like that, yeah.
Anyway, he's paired with Sharna. Excuse me. I hate to say it, but I think he's probably going to be the first one eliminated just because he doesn't have. Nobody
The
knows who
fan
he is.
base. Unless he dances really well, I don't think so either, because nobody knows who he is. I remember I texted you, like, who is this guy? I have no idea who he is. Why is much stronger language in this? But I looked at the cast list, and I was like, who the blink business?
Yeah.
Not just of him, but of this certain other person that's cast on the show, a certain YouTube star.
Yeah, we'll get there. Next is Lolo Jones, who is both a summer and a winter Olympian. She did bobsled at Sochi, and she's also a track Olympian. She's paired with new pro from South Africa, Keo, who has a very extensive and very well-known history in South Africa, being a Latin champion. He's won that 7 times, I believe.
Something like that, yeah.
So I'm super excited to see him and see what he can bring. And I know this is just a reflection on our society and dance sport as a whole, but it's so nice to see a pro person of color. I'm super excited that they brought him on. Yay for Dancing with the Stars, BBC, for bringing in a person of color, for being a pro.
I am thrilled about that, and I love Lolo Jones, and I think, you know what, she's going to be a really positive role model for the young girls out there, because she is very vocal about her moral beliefs and her strong work ethic, and we don't see that very often, and I think that's going to be wonderful for our young girls to see.
I hope, though, and I saw that, I hope, though, that it doesn't turn into another Candace Cameron situation. Because
I don't think so, because she doesn't bring it up that much. It's just like a side note, oh, yeah, I'm saving myself for marriage, which is a wonderful thing. But I don't think they're going to bring it up every single week. At least I hope they don't.
I hope they don't either, because it got really, really annoying with Candace. And, I was talking with our mutual friend Tanya about it, and she's like, you're an actor. You're playing a part. It's not the actual, like, when they were doing the rumba and she had a hard time with it, it's not the actual thing. It's a part you're playing.
Exactly.
So I'm hoping.
That's where I worry about Lolo a little bit, because she's not an actress. She's an Olympian. She's an athlete, so she doesn't know that as well as Candace might have.
Yeah. So I just hope they don't, like, put it in there and beat a dead horse.
Yeah. Just say it once and be done with it. We don't need to hear it every single week. But I do have to say, I do respect her for her beliefs. Lots of respect for you, Lolo.
Yeah, totally. And I think it's, it's great whatever you believe, and I just don't want them to harp on it every single week.
Exactly.
Next, we have Bethany Mota. I think is how you pronounce her last name.
Yes.
She has her own channel.
With hashtag. Did you know this was a hashtag sign? Because I didn't until I started watching her videos.
I've never watched her videos, and I have really no plans to. It's just not something I want to watch.
Well, if you wanted a fabulous back-to-school fashions, you should watch her video.
She has her YouTube channel that has like 7 million views or followers, subscriptions, whatever YouTube does. And she is paired with Derek. She is 18 years old, and I don't know what to say, partly because I'm a little disgusted that...
This is like really grasping at straws when it comes to a star. I mean, I was in an episode of Psych for 3 seconds. Can I be on Dancing with the Stars? I'm a journalist that has a website. Can I be on Dancing with the Stars?
Exactly.
My friend Will was a model for our local grocery store thing. He should be on if we're going to go this way.
I mean, there are some YouTube people who also have, like, careers outside of, like John Green and Hank Green. That's a different story. If you're, like, YouTube famous as well as being famous elsewhere.
You get famous.
But just being YouTube famous, I mean, that's pushing it for me.
Yeah, you're really grasping at straws with this one.
Yeah. So, I'm in some respects, I mean, I'm kind of glad that Derek didn't get a ringer, and somebody, but based on the fact that it's Derek, they're probably going to make it to the semifinals unless she's really bad.
Or nobody votes.
Yeah, or none of her follower votes, like Tucker Carlson bad.
True, true. That's the thing I worry about with them is who really sits around and I mean I know she has all those subscribers, but unless you're a teenage girl, who's really going to be watching and voting both?
Yeah. Anyway, finally we have Betsy Johnson, who is paired with Tony. She is a clothing designer, very, very eccentric, likes to wear crazy outfits. I don't know what to say about her, other than that's kind of her personality. She's very, very, not
She's
out
like
there.
the Whopper of the fashion world.
Yeah, I mean, some of her stuff is nice. Some of her dresses are great. She is very flexible. During LA Fashion Week this year, she did the splits at the end of her show.
That's her trademark.
Yeah, she's just very quirky personality, and I don't know, like, in some respects, I kind of feel bad for Tony.
Me too.
So, yeah, she is 72, but she looks great, in great shape, so that may be helpful. Did you see his Instagram yesterday, I believe?
No, it was about what happened.
So it was a picture of Betsy, and his comment was, "This is what I come into the studio to." Like, and I don't know if he was being, like, funny or if he was being sarcastic, but it was like, oh, okay, Tony.
That's our Tony. That's our Tony.
Yep. So that's the cast, and you can definitely, there's some going to be, I think the first interview went up this morning. I forgot who it was, though. I didn't actually look at the link. There are some new stuff. Apparently there's going to be more focused on Twitter voting, which I'm not thrilled about. I'm not sure how that's going to work. They're trying to incorporate more social media into voting. Who knows if it'll work. Also,
that is that they're going to do the Twitter save like they do on America's Got Talent and The Voice, which can help or hurt. Did you ever see that on either one of those shows? Basically, what happens is they say these are the bottom three, and then you have to tweet hashtag. And now Bethany has me doing hashtag, but you go hashtag save Betsy, hashtag save Bethany, hashtag save whoever else is in the bottom three, and then the one with the most votes is saved, and then they announce out of the other two, whichever one has the least amount of votes, and then gets rid of them. That's my thought on how it's going to work out, but I think on American Idol you could do Twitter votes as well, but I don't remember. That was so long ago when they did that last season, that I believe you could vote on Twitter. And I know you can vote on Facebook, so it's probably going to work the same way, but I think it's just going to be the Twitter save thing.
Huh. I just don't know how that's going to work with all four time zones. Well, 5 time zones if you count Alaska and Hawaii.
Yeah, that's the thing where I don't really think it's going to be fair, and I think on shows like America's Got Talent and The Voice, where it's really not all that fair because they don't get a chance to get all those West Coast votes or other time zone votes either.
Yeah. So we'll wait and see what happens with that. Second bit of news is that, unlike last season, there is elimination the first week. After last season, when not having a results show, they decided to bring back, at least for, I think, the first, I don't know, I don't even remember what they said, maybe the first, 4 weeks, there will be a results show. So there's an elimination on Tuesday, the 16th?
16th, yes.
I'm not sure how in some respects, I kind of like it because it speeds up the season a little bit. But at the same respects, I'm not a fan because it doesn't give them kind of a second chance to do a different style.
Exactly.
And I'm not a big fan. I don't watch the results show anyway. I just get the results off of either Twitter or LiveJournal or something else because I have other shows on Tuesday that I'd rather be watching than all the fluff that they put in there that I have no interest in watching. So I'm kind of a little mad that they brought back the results show because I thought it was kind of a waste of time.
I'm happy in the sense that we have a little bit more Dancing with the Stars, and maybe we could bring back my one favorite segment, the Dance Center. That's my favorite, with Jerry Rice and Kenny Mayne and Len Goodman. At least we have like a little bit of laughs, but I agree. Maybe they put it into a half an hour instead of an hour, dragging it out at the same 5 little fluffy pieces every single day. No.
Yeah. I mean, I like Dance Center was like when they had it just down to the 5 couples because it makes more sense.
Yes, exactly.
So, yeah, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of having a results show the first week and just having a results show in general. So, we'll wait and see. I don't know. I know the results show is at 8 o'clock, but I don't know how long it is. I haven't looked at schedules yet. Okay, so here's what I think we should do. First 3 to be eliminated, and who do you think top 3 will win, or top 3 at the end of everything?
Okay, first 3 gone. Definitely going to be Tavis, Bethany, and sorry, Tony, Betsy. Sorry, Tony, I love you. You know I love you, but no, I have a feeling it's not going to. But top 3 for the final 3, I think it's going to be Sadie. It's going to be I don't know his name, like Alfonso and Antonio.
Okay, first 3 to be eliminated: Tavis, Bethany, or not Bethany, Betsy, and Randy, right? No, take that back. Tommy. It's my 3. And then top 3, I'm going with Bethany, just because she's with Derek. Janelle and Jonathan.
We should have a fantasy Dancing with the Stars thing.
There was one at one point, but I don't know what ever happened to it. It used to be on Facebook, but I don't know what ever happened to it. But yes, I wish we could go back in time and start it, and because I do fantasy gymnastics for the NCAA season, which is really kind of its own little interesting piece. It's not like football where there's only 1 or 2 games a week. There's 6,000 teams competing basically every weekend until April.
Yeah, my guy friends are obsessed with their fantasy football. I think I'm supposed to be playing with them, but I never heard back. And it confuses me, so I'm just there okay, baby, just explain it to me. I'll just sit here and look pretty, and you'll just explain it to me.
Yeah. So, any dark horses that you think might...
Definitely Janelle for the dark horse. I think she's definitely going to be one of those that's going to really shock us, not only with her fan base, but I think she's going to be a really good dancer. And Val has proven time and time again he is a good choreographer, so I think she's definitely going to be a dark horse. And Jonathan, of course, because he just has that personality, and I think he's really going to be a good dancer, so I think he's going to do really well. What about you?
Definitely Jonathan, but I'm a little biased because of Good Shot. I think Janelle. I also think I think it kind of depends on the dance. I think for the standard dances, Leah and Lolo, because she's tall. Dang it, who is Lolo with? She's with Keo.
Leo, she's with Keo.
Yeah. That might be an interesting partnership, just because of she's fairly tall, isn't she?
Yeah. Well, look at who you're asking. I'm 4'10". Everyone's tall to me. If anyone's a tall person, I'm like, you need to be a little more specific.
Yeah. So I think she might be kind of a dark horse. I think she, I don't know, like I think she might be a dark horse too. Um, but yeah, those for me, Jonathan and Lolo, in terms of like splitting guys and girls. So,
Yeah, I think definitely they're gonna do well.
hmm. I kind of, I looking at this cast surprises me a little bit because it is so many like not as like superstar names, like having Meryl and Charlie on there last season because they were. I mean, granted, they had just won Olympic gold, so they were in the news all the time. The first time for an American ice dancing couple kind of thing. Um,
Right.
but there have been some other big names in the past, like surprises. But this cast seems a little subdued.
I'm
So
kind of happy about that. I'm trying kind of around you going back to season one. Remember, like they were just names that we all knew and we knew they existed, but it wasn't huge names like we've had in the past. Later on season, kind of like we're going back to the roots of the show.
yeah, I mean, um, this first season, kind of the only big name on there was, oh, for Pete's sakes, I can see his face. Um, what guy that came in second? What is his name?
John O'Hurley.
Yes, thank you. um,
Yeah, he was big because of Seinfeld. But again, it was a name we all knew him, but we didn't know if we didn't watch Seinfeld, we didn't know who he was. Just like if we don't
yeah,
watch the Olympics, we don't know who Lolo is, kind of thing.
true. Yeah, so I'm hoping maybe that and they haven't released dances yet. So, um, there was one picture, I think on Instagram, where it looked like she had a cha-cha move. So I'm hoping maybe they'll split the cast, although the cast isn't even, which I kind of find interesting. That they'll split and do half Latin, half standard, and then switch the next week, like they
I
used to
like
do.
that idea. I like reading that.
Yeah, they used to do that, and it was so nice because then you could compare. Okay, so this person, you know, these group of people did cha cha, and you could compare them much easier than everybody having all these random dances.
Exactly, exactly.
So,
And I just hope they don't do that dancing mashup again with like that cha-cha paso doble or whatever it is, because that just drives me crazy.
where they had to do like two dances in one.
Yes, yes, I completely drive because I can't keep up with that.
I think it could work. Some of them worked better than others.
Yeah, I think that's the thing.
I'm trying to remember what all they had. So trying to remember like which ones worked and which ones didn't. Some of them, can work really well.
Right,
But yeah,
right.
I agreed with that was kind of not the greatest idea.
And no more of those stupid dance-offs where they vote people, they kick people out throughout the dance. You know what
You
I'm
know,
talking about when they're all dancing? That drives me crazier than anything because I can't keep track of who's with who, and it just ends up looking stupid.
I kind of like that because that's how ballroom competitions are. I mean, they're not like picked off right away, but you're all dancing on the floor. You have a number on your back, and you're judged that way. So I
Right,
kind of
right.
like that because that's just how I'm used to watching ballroom dancing. Um, but I can see where like it gets crazy and you can't follow people.
I think it's more that they don't have enough time. They're not given a lot of time to do it. So it's like, you're right, 30 seconds, and they're
That's
really not given as much of a chance as they would in a real ballroom competition.
yeah. I mean, you're given so you're given. They call out what you're going to be doing. So they'll say like cha cha, if you're doing American, it's jive and samba, and you have a minute per dance, and then you get like a 15-second, 30-second
Oh,
break,
okay. Okay.
and then you do the next one. But they call out what you're doing ahead of time, and then they'll just play the music.
Okay, okay. I like that idea. I should try
Yeah,
that. Do it that way. I think it'll make it a little bit easier to follow.
Yeah, and they don't get kicked off right away either. They get basically recalled, is what it's called, where they call your numbers, like you stand on the edge, and they call your numbers back in.
Oh, I see. I like that idea. I like that. They should try that. Make it a
Yeah,
little more authentic there.
trying to see, can I add a YouTube video? Um, I can't add a video right now. I was going to show you, but it's yeah, it's one of those things where it's better. Okay, now how do I get out of the YouTube? Oh, there we go. It's yeah. I mean, it's the way they do it is kind of crazy, and I wish they would give them like only do like one style, and say everybody has to do waltz, and you do like a minute and a half of waltz, and then you're judged and get points based on that.
Okay. It's not a bad idea. They should.
Yeah.
They have to do something to switch it up so it's less confusing.
Yeah, and I think maybe if they had like, on the floor have the judges stand at certain points and mimic more of a way they do ballroom competitions, because the judges are standing on the sidelines with these clipboards and they're watching the competitors and they mark which numbers they like and whatnot. So that's how ballroom competitions are done in like the the rounds before like semifinals. Semifinals are a little bit different because it's less couples on the floor. I think it kind of depends on which competition, but they'll narrow it down until finally they get the top 5 or so, and then those 5 do basically show dances.
Okay.
Via a style, usually like you can tell what style it is, like a jive show dance or a rumba show dance, or they'll incorporate multiple, like if they do at the Latin Championships, they tend to incorporate multiple Latin styles into a show dance. There's a great one from America's Ballroom Dance Challenge where it's Shrek. Like he comes out full on like a Shrek head and everything.
I think I remember that one.
It's really cute and it's really funny, but that's kind of what finals are like. And then they take their scores from the finals of their dance, so like the Latin, when you compete Latin, you compete all the styles, and you're judged with the 5 other couples. Then you do your show dance and your points for that, and they add those up, and then they do top 5. So
I like that idea. They should try something more that way and make it a little less confusing.
yeah, the dance marathons, like it's starting, like it was a good idea, but I can see where would get confusing.
And what about the team dances? Do you think they're going to keep that this season?
Was it last season or the season before? The one with Snooki?
Oh, yeah. So that was
I'm
the
mad
season
about that
before.
because frankly, their team dance, Snooki's team dance, was so much better than the other one. So mad about that.
Yeah, that was one of my favorites of all time.
I think team dances can be good. I still love the team dance where they did it to single ladies with Mark and Tony and
leotard.
Yeah, with the leotard. Yeah, still one of my favorite team dances ever.
Yeah, it's definitely. That was Melissa Rycroft's original season, I think.
Yes, because she and Sean were on the same team.
Yeah, and then Julianne was still there as a pro dancer, I remember.
Yeah. So, I don't know, like, they can be good and they can be bad. So...
I think it really depends on who's in charge.
I think that, and I think... I don't know, I also think they need to pick a better way of picking who the captains are. Because I felt last season it was kind of stacked against one team because of who all was on that team based on the leaderboard. Like, it was Meryl and then I forgot who the other team captain was. But because of having Meryl on one team, she got to pick first and picked everybody, I just felt that they need to choose a better way of picking the teams.
Yeah, I think they should just. I don't even know how they could do it, but I don't like that idea the way they do it now either.
Yeah, I just think it's a little unfair. But yeah, last season I think was completely unfair. But we won't talk about last season.
We're gonna pretend that didn't happen. And speaking
Uh-huh.
of which, how do you feel about Max not being on this season? He made a whole big deal about he's not coming back.
Party in house. I'm I'm so excited that he's not there. I'm sorry, I don't like him. I don't
Sorry, not
think.
sorry.
No, I'm not sorry I don't like him, but I'm, calling the show that gives your paycheck stupid and dumb is not the smartest thing to do, and I don't think you should be rewarded for saying that, among other things.
Exactly. That
So,
completely upset me too.
it kind of baffles me looking at him and Val that they're even related. Like, you can see they're related, obviously, but they're so completely different. It's just, it mind boggles me a little bit. Like, I
Yeah.
think Val is a much better teacher, and I'm I'm okay with Max not being there, and I'm okay with him not being a judge.
I'm kind of glad he's not a judge either, but how do you truly feel about Julianne being a judge?
Um, I'm glad that it's someone like her that has a professional competitive background, both on the show and in dance sport. Um, I am a little worried that she will be biased, maybe unintentionally, towards Derek. Um, because it's family. You can't help but feel that way.
Exactly.
Um, so I'm okay with it. I'm just a little reserved about it. So I don't know. I wish, and it's going to be hard with anybody you brought in because the dance sport world is small. So anybody older than, say, Mark and Derek's age is going to have connections to most everybody on that cast.
Exactly.
Um,
Exactly.
Other than that, I know Shirley Mark's mom's name was tossed about, which I would have been okay with. She knows what
Okay
she's
with
doing,
it.
obviously. But again, it's Mark's mom, and she basically helped raise Derek. So, again, there'd be conflict, potential conflict of interest. Um, I think having Louis Van Amstel would have been great, but, it is what it
Yeah.
is. What do you think about the new producer? Because they do have a new producer slash showrunner. I can't think of his first name. Green is not there anymore.
You know, I heard about this, but I don't know very much about it. I am curious to see how it goes, though.
Yeah, I'm. Yeah, I'm just really curious to see how he goes with the show and what he does for the change formats and stuff like that. So
We'll see. We're only about a week away, so we'll see how it goes.
according to the Dancing Stars Instagram, 9 days.
9 days! Yay!
Yeah.
9 days!
So if this link will go up and broadcast, and you can share it with everybody. Show starts Monday, the 15th, September 15th at 8/7 Central on ABC. You can find information about the cast all over Twitter. Dancing with the Stars Gossip is a great resource and a great person to talk to about the cast. He or she is really funny, and maybe I'll try to get in touch with her and have her on the show and see what she thinks once we get started. If you want to find me, you can just hit the message button, or I think I've enabled comments. You can also find me on Twitter, and I will put my Twitter in the comments or in the info section. Sandy, where can they find you?
You can find me on tvgrapevine.com doing up-to-the-minute Dancing with the Stars news and recaps throughout the season. I'm also on Facebook at Sammy-T, and that's SAMMI, and my Twitter is TVG_SAMMI. Also, that's my Instagram as well.
And I'll go ahead and put those links in the info section of the video. So, with that, Sammy, do you have any final comments?
I just can't wait for this season to begin, and I'm really curious to see how it goes, because as we know, we can always expect the unexpected on Dancing with the Stars.
That is true. Signing off, I'm Katrina.
I'm Sammy. Bye.